Soon after the end of World War II, the CIA started doing social proof experiments. This was after they were first created and had a huge budget and were simply doing as many experiments as they could. They started to artificially change fashion trends, speaking trends, and buying trends, just to see how easily they could control these things. A not-so-common fictional archetype in the 60s and 70s was a Japanese guy living in the jungle who didn't know the war was over. This allowed for deus ex machina cannibalism in various horror movies. There was this beekeeper who was experimenting with different ways of keeping bees from getting lost. His angle was that if he could solve the disappearing bee problem, he could make a ton of money. He was using a lot of subacoustic technology that he'd hoped would alter the bee's behavior, but his experiments came to a crashing halt when he noticed that the queen bee had escaped. We tend to think in terms of individuals both as humans and as animals. For example, if you have a population of foxes living near a population of rabbits, one fox can eat one rabbit. Looking at things from an individual perspective, then each fox would be classified as a predator. But if you look at the entire population of wolves as a singular entity, they would be better classified as a parasitic organism. One organism, the fox collective, that feeds off another organism, the rabbit collective. This is more parasitic behavior, not unlike a leech who sneaks onto your back and steals your blood. Ancient human civilizations that rose up and then collapsed can be seen the same way, which would be easy to explain from the group as parasite theory, meaning each large society could be seen as a singular entity, a parasite that is destined to kill the host. He altered his subacoustic frequencies and had a much better time. He convinced all his bees to go out, find another beehive, and kidnap their queen. Then the government came along and offered him a lot of money for his experiment, which he gladly accepted. Now there exists technology to weaponize bees and other flying, stinging insects. This archetype can also be used to explain missing people from tourists' locations nearby any jungles. Of course, since there aren't many people still alive from World War II, it's no longer believable. Nobody would believe that 100-year-old crazed cannibal appearing out of nowhere and killing and eating the protagonist. They didn't find any applicable results, so they gave up on the experiment. But the experiment has been going all along on its own, constrained only by chaos theory, which is precisely why everything seems so chaotic today.